Okay, so I have saved a copy of one of my earlier spheres and I've named it Sphere with Extra Features. We're going to try doing extra little bits and pieces. So we've already done faces and feet, so not those, but something extra. So something like little ears or little wings or something like that. That can make it a bit more exciting. So what we're going to do is have a go at putting a work plane in, similar to how we made the face features, but we're going to go towards the middle. So we want to pick work plane. We're going to pick the same work plane, so click on the front here. So the same work plane as where we drew the face, but we're going to offset it, which basically means we're going to move its position parallel. So as you can see, it getting lighter and lighter and lighter. So we're going to be drawing on this plane wherever it is we end up dragging it to. You can see the distance changing, and I kind of want my ears to start maybe about there, so I'll put it there. So that's my work plane there. And then we're going to start a sketch on that work plane. Fab. So I'm going to draw some little ears. Now this is showing us the inside curve. We want it to join up to that ideally, so that it is actually joined onto the whole thing. So I'm going to quickly project the geometry of the inside circle, so we know that it's going to join up to it, and then start drawing the line tool. So I'll make my ear start here, go up here, and then come down there. Click OK. And then I will offset that geometry a little bit like that. Now that is going to make the inside of the cat ear. So if you have a look at the picture again, it'll be like the inside bit that's sticking in there. We're not going to do that right this second, we will do that later. So I've created the outside shape. Let me get rid of those for a second. There we go. So this is what we're going to make solid to begin with. But we want to put the same thing on the opposite side over here too. So we've got two options. We can either draw it on using the dotted lines to match the parallels, if you watch very carefully. So you can see I'm on the green line in the middle and it's parallel. And then I simply go up so that it's parallel at the top, and then onto the green line and parallel to the one on the other side. So those ears should be about the same. Or, a bit trickier but slightly more accurate, we can use the mirror tool. So if I select both of those by holding the Shift key and then do Control C for copy, Control V for paste, and then we can move that out the way and create a vertical line in the middle, and then we can use this line to mirror these two to be exactly the same. So mirror line is that, click apply and done, and as you can see they are exactly the same angle and everything. Get rid of those bits, and then we'll hold the Shift key, select those, and then drag them over to the other side. The only difficulty here is trying to match it up with the ones on the left. I'm going to undo that. I'm going to use the ones that I drew on using the parallel dotted line tool. Right, so I have this whole line around here and those there. Theoretically, these should make solid shapes. So if we finish sketch and click extrude, we've got those two there. And if I turn it round, you can see it is inside as well. So it is going to be actually joined up, which is fab. I'm going to make them quite chunky ears. Let's have a look and see how that looks. There we go, 10 millimeters. It's about 1 centimeter thick. That's good. We'll go with that. That's good. I'm going to just fillet the top of his pointy ears so they're a little bit nicer to look at. That's better. And then I'm going to draw the inside of the ear bits on those top bits. So start a sketch on the ear, and then we'll project the geometry like we did before. And theoretically, that should let us offset the line. Let's have a go. There we go, that worked. If I go in by 2 millimeters, and the same on the other side, and then we'll extrude those, but we don't want them sticking out. We want them to cut material away. So let's go in by 3 millimeters. There we are. So that is all joined up. He's got some funny little ears. I could fillet the back of them to make them rounded. Let's see if that will work. Oh, he looks a bit like a little piggy from this direction. Let's try. So I've selected both of the backs, and you can change how big the fillet is. And if you just, without pressing OK, wait, it actually shows you the update of what it's going to look like. So that was 4 millimeters. It doesn't want to do 6 millimeters, it's not happy. So that's 2. That's 4. I think we'll stick with 4. So apply. There we go. So I've got some funky little cat ears. If you want feet on the bottom, you could draw a sketch on the bottom and make some little cat paws. So he's got some little cat paws. That could be quite cool. You could maybe even have a go at adding a little tail on the back. That could be quite fun to see. Not that you're all going to be doing kitties, but there we go. So that is my cat with additional features. And remember to do your screenshot if you want to hide these. So go on the work planes and click visibility, and it just hides them. Or view, object visibility, and all work features hides them too. So I've got white kitty. What colour could I make my kitty? Give him a black one. Black kitty. Oh, that's a bit crinkly looking. That's a bit weird. Maybe not that one. Or we could have a yellow or a blue kitty. That could be quite funky. You can actually change the colour of these parts separately. So if I click on these bits separately, let's see if those will change. So at the moment they're white. So I could give him smooth black, little nose and eyeballs. Okie dokie. So once you've got that sorted out and you've played with the renders, have a go at saving a screenshot of that into your area on OneNote. So it should be going into here. So pop with an extra feature, little screenshot in there and shrink it down, please. And the next one we're going to go on to is the hanging pot. So I'm just going to pause while I save that. Okay, so I saved my other one and this one is ready for developing into my hanging one. So if I show you the picture, so the examples I've got here, I know he's sideways, but you get the idea. He's got little wings sticking out halfway through with holes in so that you can hang him from strings, so like the bat above. It would mean that you don't have to have this flat bit at the bottom, but I would suggest keeping that in case you decide not to hang them up. I think a little hanging up pumpkin could be really quite cool. Don't know if anyone fancies trying that for me. But I'm going to do the wings like this on my little bumblebee dude. So here's my little bumblebee. I stole my smiley face from earlier, but I've given him a little stinger. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do extrusions that sort of come out of the side, turn into little wings and stuff like that. It doesn't have to be wings, you can make them whatever you want, I suppose. So we're going to create a sketch on a work plane, but we want to have the work plane a bit higher up. So if I show you, you've got, move them a little bit more to make it easy to see. So we've got this work plane here that goes through the middle. We want to draw a sketch, but we want it just above there. So start 2D sketch. We're going to put it on that through work plane. Here we go. And then we should be able to draw onto it. Now I'm going to project the geometry of the inside circle just so that we make sure that it is actually going to be attached all the way through. You don't want him to be weak and falling off and then having your pot smash onto the floor. No, don't get in trouble for making lots of mess. I'd get in trouble for making lots of mess. Okay, so I'm going to use my spline tool to make my little wingies, I think. I'm going to have a go. That's one patch. Let's make another one. I'll start it just above. There we go. So we've got that shape there. Now I need to trim this bit here to make it nice and tidy, so it's a whole shape, so we can extrude that. But before we extrude it, I want to mirror it onto this opposite side here. Now I'm going to put the mirror line straight through the middle so that I know it's lined up exactly in the right place opposite. So I'm going to select these two pieces and mirror. So I've selected them already. So the mirror line is this bit here. If I click apply, it puts it in exactly the right place on the opposite side, look, so I don't have to worry about matching it up. So click done, and then hopefully, here we go, it will let me extrude them both. Oh, I think they're a bit thick as they are. We don't want them too weak, otherwise they'll fall off, but we don't need them to be a whole centimetre. That's better. So 5mm thick will do. And they've come up red. I'm going to change them so that they're white. So I select those bits and go down to white. Just turn it around so I can get to select the rest of it. Look. So down to white. There we go. Wonder why it didn't select that one. Let's try again. That's better. There we go. So I've got some little bumblebee wings. You could, if you wanted to, and if it behaved, fillet them a little bit so they're a bit nicer to look at. But I wouldn't do it by very much at all because you don't want to make them really weak. And then we'll change those to white because it looks weird like that. There we go. So there's my bumblebee wings. We just need to make some hole in those bits for the string to go through. So we're going to start a sketch on top of the wings. Make a little circle and we'll just do it 3mm, which should be just big enough to put some string through. So make sure you're checking for your dotted line to make sure that they're the same height as the ones on the opposite side, otherwise it'll end up wonky. So finish sketch, extrude. Now remember, we're trying to make holes rather than adding material. We want to get rid of material, so we want to go on cut and then 5mm because it's going to go all the way through. There we go. So he's got little holes through his wings, and that is our little hanging pot ready to go. So make sure you take a screenshot showing me what you've designed for this, and it will go here into the section that says hanging pot. Now that is all 4 bits I'm showing you for this one. In the 2 spaces below, I'd quite like you to come up with your own choice using these skills. So these are here for inspiration. You can perhaps come up with something else that's Halloweeny or Christmassy, something that we've not done yet. Maybe a little unicorn would be quite cool, or a little cartoon character that you can think of whose face you could draw. Have a go at 2 interesting ones of your own to put down here, and then fill in the bit underneath for me.